Hi, I'm Jeff Morgan with Northwest Fly Fishing Outfitters, and today we're going to be tying a reverse spruce spider. So let's hop to it. All right, the first step with a reverse spider is actually constructing the wing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start our thread here in the middle of the fly and advance it toward the eye of the fly. If you try to add the hackle wing at the end, you're going to run into trouble. You're going to run out of space, you're going to have a crowded head. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to start this off by grabbing the longest mallard feather that you can find, mallard flank feather like this. We're going to strip down all the down on each side of that feather like that. So we're going to tie it in just like that. When you tie this in, you want it pointed forward because, again, we want the reverse hackle. We want those tips pointed forward so when the fly is stripped through the water, they pulse backwards with life. So we go ahead and just tie that in here at the front of the fly. Clip off the excess. Then move our thread behind that feather. Oh, without catching it. Now we're going to go ahead and make a couple wraps in front of the thread here, guiding each of these barbs forward as we make the wrap. This is a fly you don't want to over hackle. Just like, generally speaking, we teach people not to over hackle their flies. This is certainly when you don't have too much hackle because you'll lose the pulsing factor of those feather tips. We're going to cut the excess off there. Now we got our wing constructed in front already. Then we're going to just go ahead and construct the rest of the fly. Now, the traditional reverse spiders simply had a chenille body with some tinsel ribbing. We're going to make ours a little spruced up today by imitating a spruce fly and using some of the essential materials that are in a spruce. So one of those materials is peacock sword. These are the short peacock feathers you can find upstairs at the fly shop. As you can see, you have a range of lengths on each of these fibers. We're going to kind of go for the middle length ones here. We don't need anything too long for this tail, but about 5, 6, 7 of those guys. Give us a nice little robust spot for a tail there. And we're going to go ahead and tie that in. I like to tie the material in all the way through to keep a nice even body because we're going to be adding some tinsel here. And the last thing tinsel likes is an irregular body. So let me grab my tinsel here. For the body, we're going to use just mylar tinsel. Comes in gold on one side, silver on the other side. Whenever you tie in mylar tinsel, the color you want to show on the finished fly is the side you want to tie down. You want to be looking at the opposite color that you want to view on the finished fly. So I'm going to tie this with the gold side up. Advance that thread forward. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to wrap this as evenly as possible forward on the fly. Now, if you're worried about durability, mylar tinsel is quite durable, but you can always secure this with an extra wrap or two of fine silver wire throughout the body. So we're going to cut off that excess there. A little bit there. All right. So I like to give this a little pop of color, like a spruce has a little bit of red in it. So I'm going to add a small amount of this Salar Synthetic Series Octopussy Red. Any sort of darker red. I don't like too bright of reds on my Searun Cutthroat flies. And this is a fly that's primarily used for Searun Cutthroat. It works great for crappie and smallmouth bass, but this is really a Searun first pattern. And we're going to finish this fly off with a thorax of peacock herl. Again, as we've discussed before, you can buy peacock herl on the stem, as they say, on the actual feather. But I prefer to just get it in bags. It's easier to work with and cheaper. We're going to cut off the waxy butt ends, even those out. Tie this in here at the thorax. And we're going to give this a handful of wraps right here, just pushing our hackle forward. We're just going to give this 1, 2, 3 wraps. We don't want to overwrap this peacock herl, otherwise you're going to have an ugly bunch of wraps there at the front of your fly. Now, when I finish this fly, I'm going to sweep the feathers back, and don't worry about this. You're not going to do anything. You're not doing any permanent damage. In fact, this is what the fly should look like underwater as it pulses through the water like that, popping forward and then sweeping back as you strip. And I'm going to do my whip finish at the head of the fly here. Cut that off. And there you go. You got a fly ready for the LC, the cowlitz, any of your favorite Searun Cutthroat streams this September and October. Good luck out there.